a JetBlue pilot was removed from the cockpit after taking a breathalyzer minutes before takeoff and blowing 4 times over the limit after consuming up to 10 tall boys around midnight. James Clifton, 52, of Orlando, Florida, blew a 0.17, which is 4 times over the legal limit for a pilot and double the normal limit, before an early morning 6:15 a.m. flight on Wednesday. In addition, pilots and crew members are not permitted to consume alcohol within 8 hours of their shift, the Federal Aviation Administration said. Clifton reportedly told police he had 5 or 6 drinks the night before and had not been drinking the morning of the flight, according to ABC 7. He later corrected himself and said he had up to 8 drinks. An officer reportedly overheard Clifton say on the phone that he had 10 22-ounce tall boys and left the restaurant around midnight. The actual number of beverages the pilot consumed is unclear. He was pulled out of the cockpit at Buffalo Niagara International Airport ahead of takeoff to Fort Lauderdale, a Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority spokesperson said. The pilot was reportedly visibly tipsy while going through security, prompting TSA to report to airport police, causing the flight to delay 4 hours. The flight, which was supposed to take off at 6:15 a.m., arrived in Florida at 1:10 p.m., according to FlightAware. Clifton was taken into federal custody and federal authorities were notified. The pilot was released to JetBlue security and may face charges, according to WKBW. JetBlue said it removed the pilot from his duties. The airline told the New York Post, "The safety of JetBlue's customers and crew members is our first priority. We adhere to all Department of Transportation rules and requirements concerning alcohol at all times and have a very strict zero-tolerance internal alcohol policy." The airline is also conducting an internal investigation, as well as cooperating with local law enforcement. The Federal Aviation Administration also said they would investigate the matter, stating, "The FAA is investigating allegations that an airline pilot attempted to report for duty while under the influence of alcohol. The agency takes these matters seriously." Just the day before, a drunk New York man was tasered 7 times at an Orlando airport. A 280-pound, 6-foot, drunken New York man got into a tussle with police at Orlando International Airport Thursday, in an encounter where he was tasered 7 times and still refused to go down. The altercation served as the climax of a chaotic meltdown by 34-year-old Ryan Austin Martin, who police said got into a physical fight with his wife and daughter, 6, at the airport prior to the encounter, and had been separated from them by security. Orlando police said the man also attacked an airline employee before he was tased. The chaotic incident was recorded in full by a bystander. "You want to see a show?" a looming Martin asks a group of people awaiting flights in the footage, many with their phones trained on him. "I'm gonna effing put on a show," he asserts, taking an aggressive stance as sirens blare. "Who wants to fight? Let's go," the man shouts in the nail-biting footage, egging on scared stiff staffers. According to a arrest affidavit, the incident began when Martin, who hails from Yonkers, grew agitated at his wife and attacked her while waiting for a flight to New Jersey. The redacted report revealed that during the struggle, Martin also pushed his 6-year-old daughter and tried to pull the neck of someone else in his group and gab someone by the hair. During that time, he left twice and returned with drinks, the report, filed by the Orlando Police Department, says. The footage shows a belligerent Martin daring staffers to fight upon being separated him from his family, after a fellow flyer reported the alleged abuse. "Why am I being arrested?" Martin shouts to a female staffer at the start of the clip, after being told to walk away from the locked jet bridge door separating the man from his family. "For doing nothing. Why am I being arrested?" Martin repeats, before laying into a curse-laden tirade. "Fuck you. Fuck you," the New Yorker shouts, standing in the center of the gate's waiting area, progressively raising his voice and moving into an aggressive stance. "Fucking a hole," he yells at an unseen staffer. "Don't touch me. Nobody touch me," he then declares, while still daring staffers to act. "Hurry up, mother effers. I'm gonna put on a mother effing show," Marin screams at the top of his lungs, striking a fighting pose. He then concedes, "I had a couple drinks before the go-am flight." The footage shows Martin repeatedly banging and punching the door in a vain effort to bring it down, screaming at staffers on the other side. Eventually, one Orlando police officer arrives on the scene. Crouched awaiting the confrontation, Martin says to the officer, "What, are you effing dumb? Get the FK away. Get the FK away. If you're f-king smart, get the FK away." Martin then turns back to the door and punches it repeatedly, before someone on the other side seemingly unlocks it and lets him in. Martin enters the other room for about a minute, during which point two staffers attempt to follow him in the room, which again sets the man off. "Back the FK up," he says, ordering the staffers to exit the room. "I don't want to hurt you." Martin's family is then escorted outside of the room, at which point Martin attempts to follow them. The officer then sneaks up behind Martin with a taser and pulls the trigger. "Ow!" Martin can be heard saying in the recording, which spans about 8 minutes, reacting to the 50,000 volts coursing through his veins. Still tasering him, the officer commands a still-standing Martin to get on the ground. "Get on the ground. Get on the ground," the officer yells at the man, who seems only slightly discomforted by the voltage. The officer then sends another charge into Martin after the first pulse is up, who then proceeds to approach the officer, who responds by issuing a third burst. Seemingly unaffected by the electrical onslaught, Martin then turns away from the officer, spurring the cop to wing a full-force punch at the back of Martin's head to finally bring him down. With the taser still going, the officer attempts to restrain a still resisting Martin, ordering him to cooperate. "Put your hands behind your back," the officer says as he cuffs Martin, tasering him repeatedly, 5, 6, and eventually 7 times, as an off-duty sheriff from New Jersey who happened to be at gate assisted with the arrest. At that point, more officers arrive on the scene and successfully detain Martin. "Listen man," Martin can be heard pleading with officers while on the ground. "I just had too much to drink." It then takes 4 officers to hoist the behemoth man to his feet. Martin was then booked on 1 count each of child abuse, battery involving domestic violence, battery, resisting an officer with violence, and disorderly intoxication. He was admitted to Orange County Jail and released Friday night on a $2,950 bond, police said.